All right, folks, welcome to Bad Boys TV. We got the Platinum Scotch Doubles Finals about to kick off here in about 5 minutes. Coming to you live from the Mayborn Center in Temple, Texas. This is the Bad Boys Texas Bar Table Championship. Big shout out to our core sponsors, JB Cases, Diamond Billiard Products, Jerry Olivier, Custom Cues, Lipman Lights, Hustlin' USA. And then we have a few more sponsors, Event Central sponsors, Little Joe's Billiards and Bar out of Victoria, Texas. Ironically, Oertli and Espindola, the Scotch Doubles team, is Little Joe's. And then we also have Dooley's right here in Temple, a nice little place. Great atmosphere in that place. I got to get over there the other day for a couple minutes. And they're just hitting balls, trying to act like they remember how to play. We'll get this final kicking off. It's finals all day today. If they all double dip, it'll be back to back to back to back to back till 10 o'clock tonight. 4 finals happening today. Platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. Steve Lenz and Mayor Valencia came from the hot seat side. So James and Joe, Oertli and Espindola, are going to have to beat them twice if they want the title. Steve Lenz is having a great tournament. He is the, I want to say the 8-ball champion, but I'm going to have to look at the brackets. I can't remember. We got too many divisions happening. Let me take a look real quick for you. You can look too if you want. You just go to player.bracketbeast.com and you can look at all the divisions. Has everything there. Let's see. Oh, my internet is terrible here, so. Yeah, I can't bring up the bracket. But anyway, Steve Lenz won one of the divisions. It was either 8-ball or 9-ball. I believe it was 9-ball. He beat Jack Black in the 9-ball. Trying to bring up the bracket to see what it did in the 8-ball, but let's. Let's see, 8-ball, platinum singles. Oh, I don't see him in there. Oh, maybe he didn't play in the 8-ball. Anyway. The referee at the moment is Bill Daugherty from Oklahoma. He's the one walking around with the 2 yellow towels because one's not enough. Oh, these guys and they're flipping the coin. I hate flipping a coin for the for the initial break. It's a game of skill. I prefer to lag, but it is what it is. They chose to flip a coin and not check to see if it was a two-headed coin, so... Ready? Let's play.
Ready?
Yep. Tell them to dance. Let's get the dance going. Platinum Scotch doubles. 700 to first, 300 to second place. I think there was 12 teams or something like that. Yeah, it looks like Lenz and Valencia have won the break. This is a race to 4. Oertli and Espindola have to win this set to continue to fight to be champion. Lenz and Valencia want to just get it over with on this set and take the title. Nothing on the break, and Joe's at the table. Gotta keep that cue ball under control. He's going to shoot the 6 now to break out the 7. And then everything's open. Now, that being said, getting on the 5 is a little tricky. The windows to it are pretty small. However, if you can get straight on the 4 in the upper left corner, I believe it might just be a stop shot. Oh. Well, Oertli's going to have to come to the table and probably shoot the 2 ball. He's a tall dude, so he should be able to reach it. Let's give a big shout out to S&A Event Productions. Oertli works there. Sean Gorman is the owner. Used to be a professional hockey player. Get out your Google now. Look him up. This is a little tough when you're shooting with a bridge and you got a steep cut. Oh, shit. Well, the 5 is makeable. Just got to make sure that you don't scratch the cue ball, which could happen a couple of ways. It could go right off the 5, or it could go off the 5 off the 1, and maybe he shoots the 3 ball here. Doesn't like that steep cut on the 5. It is a pretty steep cut. A draw shot will not be easy to do, to pull it out of the pocket. It might actually pull it into the pocket. So Joe's going to shoot the 3. What I would do to have his skill at his age, though. Well, it was nice that he tied those 2 up. Steve doesn't like that. Steve doesn't really have a great shot here either. The 10 ball is blocked by the 13. The 11 is definitely makeable. It's not easy. But Steve's strong enough player. Well, it's not the 13. It's, 11 ball. He could make the 11 ball from there. And I believe stay open for the 13 after. Sean Gorman sounds familiar to me. Now I'm whipping out the Google, because while Steve's trying to decide what he's going to do, I like to put more knowledge in my brain. Nice easy stroke here. Just let the cue ball do its rolling. Yep. Get a nudge, get a nudge. Oh. Well, if the 12 goes, that's what you want to shoot now. Yeah. Apparently there were a few Sean Gormans that played hockey. There was one that played from 78 to 80. Or they just got it spelled 2 different ways. Interesting. Alright, well, if 12 or the 9 goes, I would call a ref here. Because when the balls are that close, bad hit could easily happen, even if it's not your intention. Looks like he might have a shot at the 10 ball. Personally, I would turn around and look and see if I got a shot at that 14 in the upper right hand corner, because if you do, all you got to do is hit the cue ball with a little bit of draw, and you'll come back off the rail and nicking the 12 and separating the 12-9. But he didn't even look that direction. That would have been an easy breakout with control. Yeah. And the cue ball would have been going to the center of the table. Now you got the breakout here, but this is no easy shot. When you're trying to break balls out, look at where the cue ball may be headed. Is it headed to good or headed to bad? Pick the route that's got it headed towards good. You'll come out better most of the time. Center of the table is almost always good. Zero, zero, race to 4. There is open communication with Scotch doubles here. Oh, looks like he's got the 15, I believe that is. If he does, then they're in really good shape. Don't hit 7. Yeah, he's okay. They should be out from here. Cut the 9 in the side. It's just a little bit of a cut. Go to forward to the rail, back out to the center of the table. They should be out from here. Cut the 9 in the side. Just like that. A little straighter would have been great, or even a little bit, a little bit more inside English, taking the cue ball a little farther up the table, so that Steve could shoot this 12 and roll just a little bit away from the 14. Now, he can get the same shape if he wants to shoot the 13 now, but he might actually be able to hold this too. The easier route for a less skilled player would be to shoot the 13 with a little bit of draw. Pull in the cue ball to about the second diamond on the left and back out, because then it's just a roll forward on the 12, then the 14. What's up, Stephen Fair? Yeah, we're doing alright. It's nice to be back on the mic again. We are working hard on creating a bunch more of our own events. That way we can do a lot more streaming. Yeah, just like that. See, me and Steve play the same. Just my stroke's a little bit better from here. There you go. Now you can just drift just a hair forward, or just shoot a stop and drift a little bit towards the rail. Yep, just like that. He shoots them just like I call them. At this level, one mistake can cost a lot. Joe got James in a little bit of an awkward position. James made the shot, but left Joe pretty long and pretty straight. And they trail 1-0. Hey, Sean Gorman, if you're watching, ask James what the CS stands for on the back of his shirt. It's inappropriate if you ask me. James is a good dude. I like James and Joe, really good people. That's why I pick on them. That also looks like a giant target. In today's world, I don't want a target on my shirt. Well, Lenz and Valencia screwed up on their break, but held serve anyway. So let's hope Oertli and Espindola can hold serve on their break. I always like to see a really tight, well fought out match. Uh-oh. Gonna scratch. That's not a good way to start, especially with the balls wide open. I do not see any trouble balls here. If the 12 goes in the upper left-hand corner, they should be out. just a matter of where you start. I like the 14. I like to roll up for the 12. So roll to the rail. If you don't want to do that, you could go the other way. You could shoot the 14, then the 15, and roll forward and shoot the 12-9 combo. Or the 12-13 combo, sorry. I got a light shining on the screen. And then come down table. It doesn't really matter if you don't hit that great, meaning that you leave the 12 in front of the pocket, because there's nothing down here in the way. So it looks like Steve is opting to have Valencia shoot first. No, guess he's gonna go first. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe. Taking a little extra time. Most people will take a little extra time right after the break. Yeah, I know what CS stands for, chat room. I was being funny. Some find it funny, some don't. Everybody will get over it either way. Well, shoot the 11 now, because he did not get to the 12, so shoot this ball. Pull back. Carlos is a good dude, too. Yes. Oertli and Espindola have to double dip. Well, I like the fact that Valencia did not try to do anything more with the ball. There was no, doing a stop shot is fine there because there's not a whole lot that has to be done. They are starting to get a little bit in trouble. However, Valencia can do a stop shot on this 9 ball, or even just a little bit of draw, and it will break out the 14 that just got tied up. It's got to do a little bit of draw, I believe. Anytime you start moving the balls around more than you want to, bad things can happen. Wow, that was a pretty nice little roll on that. I believe Steve's going to try to go get shape on the 10 now. And he did not. He's there. I would have tried to get a little bit farther up table. Because this shot here, if you shoot a stop shot, you want to hit it hard enough that the cue ball goes to the left rail, comes over and hits the 4 and pushes it out of the way. Now you could just roll forward, but that, you're leaving. Yeah, see, you could get he's okay. He could have easily got in trouble there too. He could have jacked Steve up a lot more. Could have got behind the edge of that 3. I would have preferred to shoot a stop shot with a little bit more pop, taking the cue ball the rail, coming out, pushing the 4 away. But this works. You gotta expect Steve to make this and just slide a little to the left for the 8. Yep. Well, Oertli and Espindola are down 2-0. And it kind of started all with Joe not getting great shape for James, and just getting out of whack just a little bit at this level can cost you. And then, of course, James scratching on the brake. Down 2-0, race to 4. Oertli and Espindola really need Lenz and Valencia to slip up here and then come back strong with a break and run or something. They'd be right back in it. Well, that's brutal, right? Nothing on the break, but I'm not sure he gave up a shot. And even if they give up a shot, running out this mess is pretty tough. I do believe that's the 9 ball just above the 6, so Joe could make the 3, but I think he would have to draw out of there. I think he can cut the 2, but it'd be a tough damn cut. He could bank the 2. That's a tough way to start off your group. I think he's going to have to shoot the 3 with a draw. Joe is 74 years old. Man, I wish I could play as good as he does at that age. Hell, I hope I live that long. Man, still got game. One of the nicest guys in the pool world, too. Wow. Hell of a cut, Joe. Nice. Just his touch and stroke is just so pretty. And he broke out the 6 without breaking at the 14 and 9. I think James can just shoot the 6 in the lower left corner, roll out so that Joe can shoot the 5. Then James would shoot the 4. Then they can deal with the 1, 7, however they want. Probably shooting the 3 last. But they might go after that 3 earlier, just because they want to get a break out on that. Unless the 5 don't go by the 8, but I think it does. I think the 8 is a little farther away than I think. It's a shame that 3's not tucked down just a little bit more so he could shoot the 5 off the 3. Maybe the 5. If the 5 doesn't go, Joe could shoot the 4 on the right side and get down for the 7. Because the 5 goes in the lower left side, left corner. My chat room is being way too quiet. Be careful, folks. I'm back here commentating on my own. I'll start talking to myself. You'll be in trouble. Look at that. Perfect. I wonder if the 5 goes by the 8. I think he's got a... Well, he's looking at the 3 ball there. Problem is the 1 doesn't go by the 15, so you gotta make sure that you're in the right spots for the 1 too. Looks like he's thinking about drawing back for the 1. I personally like to go 2 rails, shoot the 7 in the upper right, go 2 rails. Trying to come up the table. And then either I shoot the 1 or I could shoot the 5 or the 3. You know, try to play position where all 3 of those are makeable, and then I can decide from there what takes me from one position to the next. Not as easy to see from here, though. Get off the rail. Perfect. Perfect. Now, what does Joe play for here? Getting shape on the 8 from the 5 or the 3 is not necessarily easy at the moment. However, what they do with the 5 or the 3, whichever one they shoot first, could change that. It also could get them in trouble. Well, he looks a little straight on the 5. If the 3 goes, he's going to have to be careful because I think the cue ball will hit the 12, which will push the 8. Now, maybe he can shoot the 5 and draw back for the 3, but that's so touchy because if you don't get enough, or you get too much, then you're shoving stuff around. So, if he shoots the 3 first, I predict the 5 will move down table. And he's got to be careful that he doesn't get hooked behind the 14 and 13. If he shoots the 5 first, getting shape on that 3 is touchy shape. Could overdo that or just the opposite and way underdo it. Well, he's acting like there's enough angle that he could shoot the 5 and drift the cue ball over for the 3. Problem is like he was looking and shook his head, and as he might end up leaving Joe jacked up over the 13 and 14. Which doesn't make you happy either. He's trying to convince himself to get perfect shape here. And if it's straight in, it's a much tougher shot. This shot is so much easier if there's like a 5 to 10 degree difference in the angle or more. He got there. He's got the 3, but I don't think he got high enough to get shape on the 8. And I'm not sure if Joe can cheat that pocket and draw back, nicking the 12 on the way back and pushing the 8 past the 13. Oh, yeah. He's looking to follow it to the point. If he can follow the cue ball to the upper point of the side pocket, he might be able to cut that in the side. Just a little off, I think. If James could have got the cue ball to come back maybe an inch more or 2 inches more, it would have been absolutely perfect, I believe. He could have shot that 3, rolled straight. Yeah. And I don't think Joe's got it where he can shoot with an inside follow and hit the point and spin the cue ball into the 8 either. We're about to find out what he's got. I think he's going to touch this. Yeah, he's too far up. He's too far up. He's telling James, I'm sorry, but you left me that way. Ouch. These guys just can't catch a roll. Just a little off on shape. And we're really just going to go back to the point of they got out of whack. Just a little bit. Look, 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 look. Nick it. Hit the rail. Nope. Well, that's the worst thing that can happen right there is giving up ball in hand because now Valencia and Lenz can take cue ball, put it where they want to get out of trouble. Looks like he's just going to bump the 14, but I like shooting the 13 down table, running into the 14 and stuff from behind, from up above. I'm playing to win, I'm not playing not to lose here. Put the cue ball by the 8. Shoot the 13 in the lower left-hand corner. Follow forward, busting up the 14-9. And the cue ball coming back out towards the center of the table. You have the 10, the 15, the 11. And if you get her out to the center, almost every ball will be shootable from there. Yep, see? Every ball but the 9 ball is makeable from there. Well, the 11. 9 and 11 are the only two that are not makeable. You have 4 other balls you can play shape off of. At the moment, Oertli and Espindola are just victims of a little off here and a scratch on the break. They're not playing bad. It's just when their opponents get to the table, everything's wide open because they've cleared it all out for them. That's kind of the, at the lower amateur level, you learn that's one ball hell. You miss your shape on one ball and it ends up putting you in hell. And even if your opponent's balls are tied up, they can get all theirs out or play safeties on you because they can hide behind their stuff. At this level, your opponent's coming to an open table is brutality. Steve's got pretty good ball speed today. He's going right into where he needs to be. Just roll forward on this. To me, on this particular shot, a lot of people try to jam it up. Like they'll try to force the cue ball over. Just roll forward. With a little bit of right spin, you'll hit this ball, come down to the bottom rail, and the spin will take it out. The 8 ball can go right in the side. Yeah, just like that. See? That's the easiest shape on that particular shot. You got a whole lot of room for error. If you came up way short, your teammate could shoot it in the upper left corner. You have to go a long way to be out of whack going too high. Well, Steve and Valencia take a 3-0 lead in a race to 4. Oertli and Espindola gotta come with something now. A break and run now and a dry break by Lenz would be very helpful. They had a tough run out. Lenz and Valencia had a dry break, but left an ugly table. And in all fairness, Oertli and Espindola got to the 8 ball on a tough table. And they really just missed the shape on that 3 ball by literally an inch. Or they would have been in great shape. They would have. I predict they would have won it if that cue ball would have went an inch farther up table. Inch to an inch and a half. Well, gotta shoot the solids. 4-2 combo, I think. They're in pretty good shape. The reason you want to take the solids here is because of where the 10 and 15 are sitting. They are prisoner to that 5 ball. Now, if Oertli and Espindola get to the table, the 9 is a good thing. You can use it to break out the 10, 15. But the reality is the solids have the advantage of the table because of that particular. The 5 blocking them from coming down, and the way they're laying, and the 7, they can't go up. And the 3 blocks from being banked cross side, so solids hold the advantage at the moment. Well, the 3 ball goes. You could also shoot the 5 if you wanted, but I would probably leave the 5 till much later. I would actually, based on where the 7 and the 1 are, I might leave that 5 for a while. You could shoot it now, but now, this is the commitment shot. If you shoot this now, you have to commit to getting out. When you're looking at a table, every table has a commitment shot. You shoot that shot, either you get out or expect to lose from not being able to get out. Because that ball was holding the advantage. Now you've given that up. Now your only advantage is that you're at the table. If you lose the table, you've given up all of the advantage. That's not to say that they couldn't play a great safe off of the 7 or any of that, but then you are in a position where you have to create the advantage. Like, you don't want to go that far. Well, he went way far, way far. Yeah. I think Steve could make the 3. I think on this, if he shoots the 1 ball, I'm calling a ref. I think he can make this 3 and come back. 2 rails. He'll do 2 rails down by the right corner. Cue ball would be headed towards the 8. Oh, I'm definitely calling a ref for this, because you could easily push this through. He hit that pretty nice. He was perfectly straight on that ball. If you're going to freeze up to a ball like that, or well, he wasn't frozen, but you're going to get that close to a ball, then being perfectly straight into the pocket is so fortunate. Like, if he's just a fraction either other direction, you got to put throw or whatever on that. It's just sorry. And he may have fouled on that cue ball. And I went back and looked at the replay, because the cue ball kind of goes through where the 1 is, but as a player, you're not going to know that. And if a ref is not right there, the cue ball hops a little bit, so it may not have been. But from the camera angle I'm at, it appears it could have fouled. I'm not saying he fouled, because if you're not there up close where you can actually see it from the right position, but then that's also why I say you should call a ref. And when a shot is like that, folks, don't ever assume that the shooter knows they fouled, or, because, yeah, you don't know. You can't tell, because you're at a totally different angle on that. But like I said, I'm a highly trained referee, and from the angle of this camera, it appears it could have been a foul, but there's no way I would ever call it a foul from the video, because you're not in the right position. With the cue ball hopping, it can go forward. But if I was standing in the proper spot, I'd be able to make a call on that. Well, that was a super fast set, folks. Lenz and Valencia are your champions. They played great the entire event. Hats off to Oertli and Espindola for making it to the finals. Big thanks to Joe for being a sponsor of the event. If you're ever down in Victoria, Texas, go by Little Joe's Billiards and Bar and check them out. Also, if you ever happen to be in Temple, you should stop by Dooley's. It's the atmosphere there is pretty cool. Pretty cool place. Plus, they care about pool. They sponsored the event when others chose not to. So, there you go. Thanks for tuning in. We probably got about an hour and a half to 3 hours. Probably, I can't remember when it's scheduled now. You can look at the brackets. We have silver and gold and bronze still to play. All finals. We'll be back on them later today. So hit that like button. That way when we go live, you should get notified telling you that we're live and doing it again. And I'll try to post it up on Facebook too.